Rachel says, my lander could be better. What makes it high converting versus average? That's a good question. Well, I think that's a that's a complicated answer there. There's a lot that goes into it, but really, I would say, in terms of an average lander, I would say an average lander is probably one that doesn't really, get curiosity going. Maybe the first question on the, if it's a quiz is kind of boring. It's like, are you a man or a woman kind of question. As opposed to like a high converting one where there's a lot of curiosity, right? You did, what we told you to do in week 1 and 2, where you watched the VSL of the product, then you went and built your landing page out, right? As opposed to just putting a landing page together and hoping it works, right? So there's a few things there to kind of keep in mind. Also, just, your headlines. Look at your headlines that you have on your landing page, because the more curiosity you have on those headlines, the better off you'll be. And then the other thing too is make sure that it's clean, like people aren't confused on your landing page as well. They know exactly what to do. There's one button to click. There's there's one article to read. It's not 20 pages long kind of thing. Little things like that make a big difference too. But the biggest one I would say is probably making sure that your congruency is very congruent to the VSL you're promoting and also the ads you're sending people to that lander from. Okay, that's what I would say for that. Let's see here.
Kirsten saying my Commonly doesn't look like Commonly was set up correctly. I think I made some mistakes. My Facebook says CTR link 2%. Yeah, Kirsten, go ahead and reach out to us. We'll make sure that you set up your Commonly account correctly. If you feel like the data is incorrect, that probably is a setup error. So go ahead and reach out to us in the support, and we'll get back to you ASAP on that.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, Mike is asking, is the health niche more likely to be flagged and shut down than any other niche? And the answer is no. The answer is no, okay? I mean, honestly, you'll hear a lot of people that will say, oh yeah, the health niche, like it's for sure, it gets flagged and scrutinized way more than any other niche out there. I mean, honestly and truly, I don't necessarily believe that. I think that really at the end of the day, what Facebook is looking for to make sure you're not making too many claims, make sure it's not very kind of scammy and clickbait type of copy. And as long as you kind of avoid those things, you can have as much success with weight loss as you can DIY or whatever, right? And vice versa. So that's what I would say on that, Mike. So really, I personally don't think that's absolutely true. I don't think that's true at all, to be honest with you. All right, let's see. Is threshold the same as amount spent? Yes, it is. Yep. So, well, similar, right? So basically, whatever you're getting billed with on your statements from Facebook. So if you're getting billed at $50 every time it's hitting your credit card at $50, that's your threshold. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right, Zabir is saying this is off subject, and he's spamming the chat here. This is off the subject, but what type of post do you boost posts for the DIY page? I just joined a few days ago. Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, a couple things with DIY page, very simple. First of all, my number one piece of advice with any type of fan page content you're going to do is if it takes you more than 30 seconds to think about what to post, that's too long. Okay, so it should take you less than 30 seconds, maybe even 20 seconds. I mean, if you're really pushing it, right? But as far as stuff, I mean, just do post things like, for example, pictures of like a wooden chair, pictures of like, some type of a woodworking project, right? I mean, just really simple stuff like that. Don't overthink it, as long as it has some sort of a DIY type of thing. Maybe it's planting a garden, right? Like whatever, as long as it has that type of home and garden DIY type of feel, you can't go wrong with that. Okay. If you're in the health niche, post recipes. Very simple to do. Okay. Because people love recipes, they're non-confrontational, and people will share them, they'll like them, and no one will ever use them. But that's what recipes are for, except for quail recipes.
Well, unless they're quail, I was going to say. Well,
yeah, exactly. Let's see. All right, let's see. So Lyle's saying, last week you mentioned a resource for campaign ads. Where is it located? I'm not sure what you mean, Lyle. You mean as far as in the Pro Toolkit, you mean, maybe?
Maybe thinking campaign ad images, that would definitely be in the toolkit.
Yeah.
Try to for a while.
Yeah.
Clifford seems to be obsessed with ad fatigue. Can you guys explain more about ad fatigue? Clifford, ad fatigue is not something to really worry about right now, just because you probably haven't been running a campaign long enough. So it's just when you have a really successful campaign that's been going for a long time and it just starts to burn out and it gets tired because it's been seen and run too many times, and you just have to change it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. How often does Facebook bill? Well, it's all based on your threshold, right? So if you have a threshold of $25, every time you spend $25, it's going to bill your card, right? If your threshold eventually gets to $750, after every $750 spent, it's going to bill you there, okay? Let's see. Rachel says, why and how does using a brand new pixel impact sales and other metrics? Well, I mean, I'll give my 2 cents on that. I think that the reason why a brand new pixel can impact sales and metrics is because, first of all, a brand new pixel has no data on it, right? So it has nothing to pull information from. So that's why sometimes you'll find that it takes time to get your first sale, right? Sometimes it takes time to get your metrics in terms of your CTRs and everything down, or get your cost per click down. That's because the pixel has no data to pull from, right? Whereas if you have a pixel that is older and has hundreds of sales on it, it's going to make a bigger difference, right? Because it knows where to look for and who to find to advertise to, right? Which is kind of the reason to that. And I don't know if Grant and Matt want to add anything to that.
No, I think you nailed it. I mean, it's honestly like, it can be a good thing though too. Like on certain situations, we just had I do an Avengers call every single Monday. The Avengers is you guys know the high level program where we have calls every week and offer lots of support and it's a next level program for sure. But in regards to this situation, there was someone that jumped on and I was talking to them about their pixel, and it looks like they incorrectly set up their pixel, right? They accidentally put the purchase event on their lander. And so what happens, Rachel, is their pixel got flooded with what I would call like bad data, right? Dirty data. And so that pixel was just wrong. It just had a ton of bad data. And so in that situation, I told them, listen, you need to just kind of throw this pixel out. It's useless now. It's been saturated with the wrong types of data, and you'll have to create a new one. And so in that situation, the pixel was sort of flooded with bad data. You would need to create a new pixel so that you're starting with fresh, good, real results on the pixel. But yeah. Also, if you guys want to learn more about that Avengers program, we'll post the link in the chat here. If you guys want to decide to jump on a call and talk with the team about if the Avengers program is a good fit or not. But that's where Matt, Robbie, and I, we jump on a call almost every single day of the week, and pretty much offer that one-on-one coaching. You guys get specific time on those calls with us, and it's great to help you go to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Someone says, what's your recommendation on Ted's Woodworking? In the Facebook group, they said it is flagged as not trustworthy. Is it a risk to go with Ted? Is Ted a risky individual? Well, a couple things here. First of all, that post, I did see that post in the group, and so what they were saying is basically that the domain had an issue that was kind of flagged. And usually this happens, like you're going to find, guys, after a while, when you use a certain domain after a certain amount of time, it's going to get flagged. All right, that's just kind of the way it is, because someone will either report it or not like it, or there's all kinds of stuff that goes into it. And Ted's Woodworking has been around forever. I don't think there's anything wrong in terms of it being not trustworthy or stuff like that. But once again, if you don't feel comfortable promoting it and you're worried about that, then go with another offer. All right, let's see here. I got some noise in my background here, but that's okay. Let's see. If the middle of my triangle is all green, but there were no sales, so the top and bottom are red, should I run it again? I think you're talking to the metric triangle there, right? So the metric pyramid, I guess, that would be the thing there. So let's see. So basically you're saying if your other stats are good except for ROI and everything like that. Yeah, look at it. Look at all your other stats. The other kind of X factor is how much have you spent, right?
Yeah.
If those numbers are looking good, but you haven't any sales yet, obviously the X factor is like, well, you only spent $5. so you have to kind of look and keep that in consideration as well, right? Remember, guys, what we do here is not magic. we're not doing like a rain dance and getting sales coming our way. Like it's just literally launching ads, looking at the data, and then reacting to the data, right? We don't react before we get the data. We wait for the data to come first, and then we react to that data. Okay, really important to know that. Okay, let's see. Ricardo's asking if the master classes will still be in the member site after next week. Yes, they will. So don't worry about that. Let's see. What's the highest threshold you've seen at Facebook? 750 typically is the highest, unless you reach out to them. You can get as high as you want if you reach out to them, but I mean, really, I tend to just leave it at 750 and call it a day. Let's see here. What is the URL? Yeah, Joyce, it's in the chat there. Grant posted that in the chat for you. Let's see. Yeah, Michelle, once again, limited learning. I think you asked that already, but no, you shouldn't be merging your ads together. Don't do that. Just ignore them. If your metrics are good, once again, then go with that. Okay. Chuck says, I watched the commonly set up video and added the tracking code to my lander. Is there further videos that show how to set up tracking IDs on the ad level when setting up our conversion campaigns?
Yes, absolutely, Chuck. Go to our help center, Chuck, and if you go to it says set up your Commently account in 10 minutes. It actually shows you in the video, but also shows you under the video some important steps on there. So go ahead and check that out in the help center. It's help.commently.com, and it shows you how to configure your website URL parameters.
Yep. All right, let's see.
Something about an Avengers price increase.
Yep. So we did that. Price has increased. So what we do is, obviously when we launched the Avengers at the beginning of, when was that? I think it was actually November of this past year. I think it was. We obviously had that entry level, kind of founding member rate, and obviously, we tend to raise the price every once in a while just because, we can, and even at the price it's at, it's no brainer. When you do, basically it comes out to, I don't know what the math is on that, but it basically comes out to, let's see here. I'll tell you what it is. Using my handy dandy calculator here. Yeah, so basically, I mean, you're looking at like 40 bucks a day, basically 35, 40 bucks a day. I mean, just pretty low, especially when you consider that you can get one sale on ClickBank, make $100 per sale. You're already winning. All right, let's see. If the middle of the triangle is all green, okay, so we're talking about, so once again, it's the metric pyramid, okay? It's not a triangle, it's a pyramid, okay? So if the middle of the metric pyramid is all green, but there were no sales after spending $300 on an easy battery, should I run the campaign again? Well, I think what you need to do, right, and you're kind of, worrying about these things a little bit too soon here. I think that, once again, saying you spent $300 means nothing to me, right? Because I don't know how many ad sets you had. Did you have one ad set? Did you have 7 ad sets? Did you have 20 ad sets, right? Because if you have, say for example, you had 10 ad sets, that tells me you only spent $30 per ad set, right? So once again, like the amount you spent really doesn't matter to me, and I can't really help you make a decision based on that one number, right? You have to let me know how much you spend, all stuff like that. But look at your metrics. Once again, if your metrics are good and your stats all the way through the funnel, as far as your ad, landing page, and offer are good, then you're probably close, right? You're probably close to getting dialed in there, okay? So kind of keep that in mind, all right? Let's see. Someone says, I asked to increase my threshold to 125 on Facebook. It was approved for 125. My billing threshold was at 75. I wasn't able to do a conversion campaign. Why would they approve me why would they approve me and then not let me? I don't know why I'm pretty sure that they're not going to stop you from running a conversion campaign. I've never seen Facebook stop anybody from running a conversion campaign. I mean, you can run a conversion campaign with $20 threshold. I don't recommend it, but you can do it. So I'm not sure what you mean by that, William. So I don't think anyone's stopping you, okay? Let's see. Someone's asking about a payment plan for the Avengers. Yeah, we do have something that you can do. So if you are interested, you can definitely set up that call. And my team can give you that information on that. Let's see. Can we take the image from the ad library for the weight loss and add it to the conversions for ads? Yeah, I mean that's kind of what the library is for. Let's see. What else we got here, guys? Questions. Let me see. Do we need a different domain for each ad? No. You need a different domain for each ad account.
Yep.
What else we got here?
Okay.
Yeah, and to follow up with someone asking about the DIY posts, asking if we need to do like step-by-step instructions for that. You know, if we're posting a rocking chair, do we need step-by-step instruction on how to design it? No, you don't. Just post a picture of the rocking chair and then rock and roll. Okay.
And then rock and roll.
All right, let's see. Someone's asking what the difference is between Avengers and the coaching program, right? So I think what you mean is the private coaching, which is one-on-one. So yeah, so a couple differences. And once again, you know, you got to look at, you know, if you are interested in something like that, you have to look at basically how you learn personally, right? So if you're somebody that needs that, like, you know, someone to hold your hand, someone to kind of walk you step by step and say, hey, this is where you need to go. This is what you need to do. And you need someone to, you know, repeat instructions to you, 10 different times, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Then probably private coaching would be a better option for you. If you are somebody that is, you feed off of like other people, if you love being in a group atmosphere where people are able to, kind of share what's working for them, share what's going on with them, get that attention, not just from one coach, but from 4 different coaches, myself, Grant, Matt, and Sean, who are our copywriter, plus be able to go and travel to these live events now that things are opening up quite a bit here in the States and in the world. We have 3 live events every year when you're part of the mastermind, right? So there's pluses and minuses, right? And obviously we've had some people that will start with private coaching and then later on they go into the Avengers, right? We have some people that jump right into the Avengers, but I think the best step is if you really want to learn more about, what is going to be better for you, just schedule a call with my team. That's what they're there for, right? To help guide you and kind of show you, hey, you can go this way, you can go this way. Then you make that decision on what's best for you. I mean, either way, guys, I will tell you that, no matter which one you choose, you got to work hard, right? Just because you join a mastermind, just because you do private coaching doesn't guarantee your success, right? I'll be the first one to tell you that. It just means you got to work harder, right? Because now you're in it to win it. If you're committed to it, we'll help you every step of the way. We're going to root for you. We're going to be there every step of the way. But at the end of the day, your success is dependent on you and what you put into it, okay? Let's see. If my ads are $50 a day, how big should my target audience be? Once again, if you're doing $50 a day, I would probably, go to 1% lookalikes, things like that. Kind of a little bit lower than, I wouldn't go too broad, like 10, 20 million audiences. I think that, start a little bit more narrow and go from there. Mike is asking, with the Avengers, do we get one-on-one calls with coaches? No, not one-on-one calls. We do actually do a group coaching call every single day, Monday through Friday. And Grant and Matt do those calls. And the great thing about it is, actually the group calls are pretty small. So you really get a lot of time and attention. You get, most of the time people will get like 10, 15 minutes, sometimes depending on who they are, 20 minutes sometimes. And getting their questions answered and stuff like that. And we're not in a rush. Like we're not trying to rush people off, right? Like we're in it for you guys, right? So that's the way that works.
I would even argue that they kind of do get like one-on-one time with us, because everybody on the call gets pretty much one-on-one time with us, Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Can we use the same domain for more than one fan page? Yeah, I mean, technically you can. Yeah, but once again, like I think, also keep in mind, like, yes, you can set up that way, but I think try not to look for shortcuts, guys. Like I think that, at the end of the day, like, for me, it's like, yes, I can use a domain for more than one fan page, but do I? Not usually, because I usually take the hard way, right? I build out landing pages for each thing I get going on, right? So just kind of keep that in mind there, okay? Let's see. Oh yeah, someone's asked about the inner circle. Yeah, so the inner circle is actually a great step up too. We haven't even really talked much about the inner circle during the whole 8 weeks, but be on the lookout because we got some cool stuff in the next week here that we're going to talk about the inner circle. But essentially, the inner circle is just is group coaching, right, as well. But it's a little bit of a lower level. It's kind of like a step down, like a couple steps down from the Avengers. A few more people on the calls, but you also get a done for you campaign every month. There's also some really cool stuff we get going on in the inner circle as well. But we're going to post some stuff on that in the next week or two because we're actually updating a bunch of stuff in the inner circle as well. So be on the lookout for that. So definitely a good starting point as well for a lot of us. How long do you continue your like campaign? Forever and ever. Okay, forever, right? As long as you're running that in that ad account, you run that like campaign, right? And just run it very, very slow, okay? Michelle says, is the Avengers more for people who have sales already? Honestly, I would say no, right? I don't think that's, you can, I mean, obviously, if you have sales and you want to jump in, go for it. If you're just getting started, it's not a bad thing. Like at the end of the day, getting 5 coaching calls every single week for 12 months is not going to hurt you. Okay, it's not going to hurt you. If anything, it's going to help you quite a bit, right? We actually had one student, Graham, that was Mark Collins, right? He was in Commission Hero for a while, and for whatever reason, kind of getting his own way, or paralysis by analysis, he kind of just wasn't doing too much, and then he actually just jumped into the Avengers, and he is crushing it. I mean, he is crushing it. I mean, he's making thousands and thousands per day, and doing very well. And he actually credits, the Avengers for that, because he's like, held my feet to the fire. It made me work on it, and so I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Robbie, Lena was on the call today with me on the Avengers call. She was like, "Oh, I was $35 away from my $2,000 day," and I was like, "Oh man, you should have sent me your link. I would have bought the product for $35 for you." Oh yes, everybody in the Avengers program, guys, they absolutely crush it. But you have to realize, it's like Robbie said, I mean, you really, really need to be wired that way, where you really want to go to the next level. You want that success, and you're really willing to, do whatever it takes to get there. So, because seriously, we take it very serious. We put our time and attention and energy into it every single day, and so we expect the students to put their time, energy and attention into it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Mike is asking if traveling expenses are part of the Avengers. It's separate. Yeah, you gotta fly and pay for your way out to the event and the hotel. But yeah, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah, if you haven't seen, if you go to that link that we posted in the chat there, you'll see a video on there which kind of shows some highlights of our last in-person event. So you just kind of get a feel of what it's all about. Yeah. Can you turn off all your ads in your folder and then create new ones and start them in the same folder? Will that be a problem, or do you always have to have ones running? Yeah, you can pause your ads. I think you mean if in your campaign, you can pause your ads for sure. You can create new ones. You don't always have to have them running. I mean, obviously, if they're not working, then that's fine. And I already answered your question, Lyle, on that one. Same domain, technically, yes. I probably wouldn't, but just keep that in mind. Let's see. Do we pay monthly for the Avengers? No, typically you got to pay up front. Okay. We do have a couple of different payment plans, but nothing. It's not monthly at all, right? Let's see. How many products is advised to advertise per fan page? Usually one for sure to start, just because, as I mentioned many times, you want to focus on one offer at a time. Okay. Let's see what else we got for questions here, guys. I want to make sure I get as many as possible here before we call it a day. Let's see. I don't see any other questions coming in. Maybe it's a little lag here, I think. Let's see. Someone says, I created my business manager for managing other businesses instead of mine. I have a like campaign for almost 2 months. My BM got only 3 ad accounts. Is that okay? Yeah, you can. That's fine. I mean, sometimes they unlock 5, sometimes they unlock 3. That's fine for sure. But yeah, if you got 3 going, then yeah, go for it as far as your accounts. Yeah, Rafi, if you're interested in learning more, just click that link that we posted there and that'll help you out as well. Zubir says, what are some of the advantages and extras of Commission Hero Pro over Commission Hero? Well, I hope you would know that by now, Zubir, because we have a couple of things here, right? So first of all, one of the big advantages is the 8-week masterclass, right? This is something we're doing live for you guys to help you have more success. And I mean, for 8 weeks, 2 months, 2 months we're here with you guys every single week, helping you succeed. The toolkit, right? The toolkit is not, if someone's a regular Commission Hero, they don't get access to the toolkit. They don't get access to the additional traffic source training. They don't get access to a lot of stuff, right? So there's a lot of advantages being in Commission Hero Pro for sure. Right, let's see here. What else we got going on? You guys see any other questions, Matt and Grant?
I am not. All the same ones. How many BMs necessary? Yeah, I mean, all the same questions here.
Yeah.
You guys want to each take a last one here? If you guys have any more.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's see. Did we already answer? I feel like we already answered this one a ton. What's the fastest way to increase the threshold? It's page like campaigns. Increase that page like campaign, David. Make it, $25, $30 a day, and it should get you there pretty quickly. And then, of course, as soon as you hit that threshold, bring that page like down to like $3 to $5 a day. So just use it to get up there, and then you'll be good.
Yep. Matt, what you got?
Let's see here. Okay, somebody said, what's the fastest way to increase threshold?
I just did that one.
I'm sorry, I was looking for questions while you were answering, Grant, that's why. All right, here we go. Here might be a good one. When you have to decrease on an ad, how much percentage do you decrease? Good question. So if you're going up or down on an ad set, and say it goes 48 hours and you're making a decision on what you want to do, and let's say you're going up, you want to go up 20%, and if you're going down, scaling down, you want to go down 20%. So 20% is that number, is what we recommend. You don't want to just put something to like $100. If it's at 25 and it has a couple sales, you don't just go up to $100. You have to do that gradually, because that can just trigger like an ad account being disabled because it's outside of an average spend for the day. And that's across the board, guys. It's not just affiliate ads. That's for every type of ad, for lead ads, for all types of businesses. You can't just put the budget up like that. You have to do it slowly, and it makes sense too, because you want to scale up as you're producing profits.
Awesome. All right, let's see. It's a 2-part question here that I'm gonna answer. Someone says, quick advice on weekly goal setting, ensuring it gets done and not falling behind, right? Well, my advice is, if you set a goal, do it, right? Like, I think that at the end of the day, guys, you have to always, you can't lie to yourself, right? So you got to stack these small wins every single week, guys. It's important, right? So, like a small win, like if, for example, if you set your alarm clock for 7 o'clock in the morning, that alarm clock goes off, do you hit the snooze button? If you did, then you already started the day at a loss, right? You took a loss right there, right? If you woke up when that alarm clock goes off, that's a win, right? So because you're training yourself to, negotiate with yourself, okay? And at the end of the day, like, you do not want to negotiate with yourself. You just want, if you set a goal, you get it done, right? I mean, how many times have we, said to ourselves, like, I know for me, in the past, it would be like, okay, like, it's Sunday night, I had a weekend of going to barbecues and all this stuff. Like, Monday morning, I'm gonna be so motivated to work out at the gym, right? And Monday morning comes, and you're like, oh my God, like, I don't want to go to the gym, right? And that happens, right? But the thing is, guys, you have to set non-negotiables for yourself and your goals, right? If you want to get to a certain point financially, or have time freedom, geographical freedom, or whatever it is that motivates you, whatever your why is, then you need to take it serious, okay? You need to get those excuses or all that stuff just out of the way, right? Because at the end of the day, like, you have everything you need to be successful. We're giving you the roadmap here to success. You just got to follow it, right? You just have to hold yourself accountable to that, okay? And make success non-negotiable, okay? Because there's gonna be times where you don't feel like being successful. There's gonna be times you don't feel like getting stuff done, but you have to do it anyways, right? That's just the way it is, guys. You have to make sure you have that that type of success and type of mindset as well. And also, last question here, someone asked, how many hours per week should we ideally be spending on this business? We get asked this question a lot. And for me personally, I think that the answer is as many hours per week and as many hours per day as it takes. Okay, that's my advice to you. Okay, because at the end of the day, we as human beings, we're very conditioned to do the minimum, right? Like we want the least amount of pain possible, right? And you can't have that, guys. At the end of the day, you got to think about doing the opposite, right? What's the like? How much can I possibly work to get this done, right? Because if you're really serious about wanting to make this happen, you're gonna go out and make it happen, right? Like every high level athlete, like guys like Michael Jordan or Michael Phelps or back in the day Tiger Woods, like do you think they ever said to their trainers or what do you think the minimum amount of hours per week I have to shoot hoops or work on my footwork or work on my dribbling, to be the greatest of all time, right? No, they never said that, right? They did whatever it took, right? They spent hours and hours and hours. Michael Jordan would be shooting hoops until the gym was closed. He'd be the last one there, right? And so that's what you have to have that mentality, right? Like this is your sport, right? And you have to have that mentality. Like for me, I never think like, what's the minimum I have to do to get something done? Like my thing is like, if you're gonna do something, do it right. And if it takes more hours, if it takes more time, if you have, God forbid, you have to work on the weekends to get this done, or you have to go to bed late, you have to wake up early, you do it, right? Because for me, the pain of waking up early, the pain of going to bed late to accomplish my goals and my dream is way less pain than the pain of not accomplishing my goals, right? So that would be my kind of advice when it comes to a mindset shift for you, because I think it's so important. Like, don't think about what's the minimum I can do, because if that's your thinking, then you're going to get the minimum amount of results. Okay, so I think we'll end that right there. Okay, mic drop. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for today. So hopefully today was a good masterclass for you. And then a couple of quick announcements here, guys. So next week, we're actually going to be doing the masterclass, I believe, on Tuesday as opposed to Monday, right? Because Monday is a holiday here in the States. And so we will obviously, we're going to be away. So on Tuesday, we'll do the masterclass, and then the recordings will obviously go up in your members area. Make sure you do your homework, as Grant and Matt mentioned. Really important you guys get that done. And once again, if you didn't get it done yet or you're still playing, a couple of previous weeks, that's okay, right? You're running your own race, you're doing your own thing, right? Just make sure you just keep doing something every single day, every single week, until you get to that goal. Okay, so Grant and Matt, anything you want to add before we call it a day?
No, it's just guys, it's been a pleasure. Really excited for you guys. I know we have one more week, but we're really getting into the important last 2 weeks here. So it's been awesome to be on the calls every week with you guys, and just want you guys to keep it up, show up next week, and finish strong.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, as your first sales come in, if you're new to this, make sure you post them in the Commission Hero group. And I also put on there, kind of what you did, right? So talk about your journey. I launched these ads. I have 5 ad sets running. I isolated down to 2-3 ad sets that are profitable, right? So make sure, you do make a post, share your success, as well as make sure that, you are doing the homework this week. This is super important. If you guys do have questions, make sure you post them in the group.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Well, hey, thanks again for being on the masterclass today. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And girls, and really looking forward to next week, which will be week number 8, the final week of the 8-week masterclass. So that's it for myself, Grant and Matt. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you guys soon. All right, bye.